Give you a little space.
Well, thank you.
It's Friday night high school football from Municipal Stadium and Larry Kelly Field, and you're getting ready to see the Edgewater Eagles, champions of District 10, take on the Mainland Buccaneers, who are not only the champions of District 9, but also the #1 team in Class 6A. Along with Rocky Yoakum and Steve Allen, I'm Billy Gahagan. Welcome to round 2 of the 2014 FHSAA Football Championships. Last week, Mainland really did a number on Southlake, guys. They really made a statement, and the Buccaneers, behind Adrian Killen's 196 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, defeated the Southlake Eagles 42-7. Coach Yoakum, those are pretty good round 1 numbers, but certainly he can't match that output every week, or can he?
Well, first of all, Coach Gahagan, welcome back. We missed you last week.
Thank you.
So many weapons at Mainland High School. Last week it was Adrian Killens who took what the defense gave them, and we'll see who they're not going to key on so much tonight. We talking with the coaches prior to the game. They're going to play a cover 2 shell and try to keep everybody deep and keep everything in front of them, try to eliminate the explosive plays. But that's good on paper. It's good on the chalkboard, but it's not always good in practice. So I expect Mainland to find a ways to move the ball, whether it's Adrian Killens or whoever has the star numbers tonight.
Well, along with Adrian Killens, everybody in Volusia County knows that Denzel Houston is a star in the making. He added 226 yards passing and 3 touchdowns last week. Wilfred Taylor caught 2 of them. Cyrus Fagan hauled in the other. Edgewater better have their heads on a swivel with all this firepower, Coach.
Well, I've heard that their secondary is not the strength of their defense, and certainly Mainland has got a great pass scheme. They always have great protection. They've got a guy who looks like he's playing video games, playing quarterback, and they've got some wonderful wide receivers. So Edgewater will have their hands full, I believe, trying to slow down the offensive machine at Mainland.
Coach Allen, how about that Mainland defense?
Billy, what can you say? I mean, 79 points through a whole season, 7.2 points a game. I believe that it's been within the last 2 weeks they gave up their first half score, which is just it's unheard of. You know, from Brunson and McCrary, Gilliland, all these guys inside, Rashad Totruck. I mean, these guys are just unblockable. And last week against Southlake, Coach and I just sat and watched the Southlake quarterback, who did a phenomenal job of throwing the football and gave his team a chance to win the football, or to make some plays. And the wide receivers didn't make plays, and Mainland was kind of choking down on the wide receivers. And once they figured out that those Southlake guys could not block them for longer than about 2.5 seconds, backed their defensive backs off. That was kind of a key adjustment in the game, and it just ended all hopes of Southlake scoring, because really the fade route was about all that they had against that choke coverage. So the Mainland defense is as advertised. It is, if they are the #1 team in the state, the Mainland defense has to be one of the best defenses in the state. Not that their offense is not, up to par or substandard in any way, but their defense is where they make their hay, and that's what's going to win the state championship for them, if in fact they can continue this run and run it out.
And as exciting as their offense is, it's even more exciting just to watch that defense run around and their special teams as well.
Absolutely, and Coach Yoakum always salutes to you. You better watch your lips when you're running around on special teams, because someone's going to be in your grill pretty quick, and they do a real good job. And it's the speed. It's the speed component. You go to practice. Mainland has a plethora of athletes. They're moving these guys around. They're doing a good job in practice. They're getting them coached up. So that's a good combination. Athletes are getting coached up, getting a bunch of reps. But stepping back to their defense a little bit, we're not even seeing the best that they have to offer. We still have Miko Dotson not dressed. We still have, some things, some people that aren't out there, that they're not at full strength right now. So I hope for their sake that they can advance, and as we get closer toward the semis and maybe even the state game, that they're at full strength for that game, so that they have the chance that they deserve to get a state championship.
Well, everybody's expecting this Mainland team to go pretty far, so the longer they have to play, the better chance they have of those guys all returning. Well, at this time we will pause and honor America with the singing of our national anthem. wonderful rendition of the national anthem to get this game going. Back to a bit of the pregame, guys. Edgewater got here by defeating hometown SEABREEZE by a score of 35-0. 4 SEABREEZE turnovers led to 28 of Edgewater's 35 points. The interesting thing about the Eagles is that last year they were 1-9, albeit under a different head coach. And this season they are district champions and in the regional semifinal, but that's all in the past. Enter first-year coach Rich Bedison. The former Virginia Cavalier has helped turn the program around. He's made a few changes. And Coach Oakham, having guys like Craig Rucker doesn't hurt either. Is he enough offensive pressure?
Craig Rucker, best Eagle performer. During the first 24 minutes, which is the first half of the Edgewater victory against Southlake in the district championship game, Rucker scored 5 touchdowns and had 256 all-purpose yards. That's in the first half, folks. He scored twice on the ground, twice through the air, and a 67-yard kickoff return for a touchdown as well. There's a great wide receiver named McLaughlin, number 6. The quarterback's 5'11", 165-pound junior, Cortez Pimbleton. Got a nice arm. They run some pistol and some shotgun, then they'll get in some two-back and run some power. And Buck Williams, junior wide receiver, he's the guy that is like the possession receiver, the guy you can count to get open and catch the ball and move the sticks.
Coach Allen, the Edgewater Eagles are averaging 32 points of offense, and they're going to need every bit of that tonight, but defensively they have some guys as well, just like Mainland, that can make some plays.
Well, they do, and in talking to Coach, he seems to feel like that Brandon McLaughlin, 6, the wideout, may play a little bit over there. They try not to use him, but Malik Williams, number 7, he's a senior, 5'10", 185. He's got to make some plays as a strong safety, as well as I've got, it looks like C.D. Blair, who's a 5'11", 190-pound linebacker, number 20, as well as Mr. Abraham, number 23, outside linebacker. Their whole linebacker crew is who, Coach feels like that has to play very well. They're going to set in cover 2 tonight. They're going to try to make Mainland drive the field. And one of the things, you spoke about Edgewater's offensive production versus Mainland. When Edgewater, they give up 3 scores a game, and they're losing, and that's their average. And the games that they've lost are 21, the other team 21, 23 points. When they do that, those are the 3 games they've lost. They're going to have a tough time keeping Mainland to less than 3 scores. It's just, and that's going to be, I think, one of the keys here is just how they manage that. And if Mainland can be patient and drive the football, not turn it over. We watched them turn it over twice last week in their 42-7 win and still have a running clock. That was phenomenal. I mean, we were just kind of in awe of it, really, because Southlake had some opportunity. And the Mainland team didn't get here. It's not smoke and mirrors. They have a good football team, and I look for them to play well. And Edgewater is going to have to stand up definitely on defense and eliminate the big plays to have a chance tonight. They can't give up those big plays.
Guys, this is an Edgewater team that has been a perennial power in high school football. Both of you coaches know what it's like to turn a program around. I'll turn it over to the dean first. Coach, they were 1-9 last year. New guy comes in. How much pressure did he have?
0.
Okay.
I took 3 coaching jobs in my life, and I think all 3 times the team was 0 for the year before, and then there's nowhere to go but up from that. And I've seen good coaches come in and infuse a group of athletes with a new degree of enthusiasm and bring out, some of the things that, if you're not winning, and Edgewater hasn't won for a few years now, it's not much fun to play football and get a taste of that win, and it can go right on. But I've seen it happen, and I'm happy for the Edgewater kids that it's happening for them this year.
And one of those teams that you took over was 0-24, one of the longest losing streaks in the state of Florida. And so you felt no pressure coming in. You probably thought that was your easiest start?
Well, when I took over SEABREEZE, they'd won 22 games in 11 years, and we're 0-20. So, like I said, I don't know a lot, but I know not to take over a state champion and try to maintain that. I will say this: I think it's easier to elevate a bad team up to a higher level of play than it is to maintain that high level of play over a number of years. So, consistency for me is the measure of any sort of accomplishment, and we'll see. Edgewater's had a good year this year, and hopefully it will continue.
Coach Allen, you're over there shaking your head. What are you thinking?
Well, kind of the same deal, Bill. I mean, I had the good fortune to take over a Flagler Palm Coast team who was 1 year removed from 0-20, and it's so true. I mean, the first rule in coaching is never follow a legend, and you take those jobs that, you know, I've done it both ways, you know, and it's much easier and much less pressure to build something yourself, and you can kind of put your name on it, and like Coach said, infuse some new energy. And in a place like Edgewater, the athletes are always there. I mean, this is an old rivalry. This goes back to way back in the 40s in Daytona High, whatever that was a downtown. This was the downtown Orlando school. This was the downtown Daytona school. These athletes from these communities have been butting heads for a lot of years, and the athletes have always been there at Edgewater. And Coach Benson has just got them going and got them going in the right direction, and hey, got them believing, and I'm sure they believe they can win tonight. And I think I'm looking forward to this matchup. Tremendous athleticism on the field tonight, just incredible.
Coach Oakham, you and I spoke earlier about this particular Edgewater team, and one of the things that you said you liked the most was that there was only 32 guys on their roster.
I do. Now, if I was the O-line coach like they were in pregame and they only have 6 offensive linemen on the whole team, I might not like it as a position coach, but I'm a believer in playing players both ways, and I think I'll go to my grave believing that in high school football. So I'm not surprised at all that they have a small group. My head coach back in Oklahoma told me, when we travel, we're only going to take players who are going to step on the field, either offense, defense, or special teams, because he said if they're not going to play, all they're going to do is bitch and eat, and so there wasn't much sense in taking them. So I don't mind at all seeing the small numbers. You can only put 11 of them out there at a time anyway.
Prediction time, gentlemen. Coach Allen, let me hear it.
35-8, Mainland.
Coach Oakham?
I'm going to go 42-7 Mainland and a running clock. Does that math work out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We are getting ready for the kickoff between the Edgewater Eagles and the Mainland Buccaneers. I'm Billy Gahagan along with Rocky Oakham and Steve Allen. You're watching from Municipal Stadium and Larry Kelly Field. The Mainland Buccaneers set to kick off. That's Peter Baudette.
From whom, Billy, we have seen an array of kicks. They have them all.
Seen it all. We have seen it all.
Last week they executed an onside kick, and Coach Oakham and I both just marveled at the fact that it looked like you were doing it on Thursday afternoon with air. I mean, it was 2 hops up in the air, and Ja'Kai Polite, and of course, the freak, he was right there, Johnny on the spot.
Gorgeous night for football. Not quite as cold. You won't have many tally marks for me complaining that it's cold because I brought a jacket.
I can see that one of my kindergartners gave you a call. So,
we are underway. Baudette's kick is fielded at the 24-yard line. That's Compton Rosetta on the return for the Eagles. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 at. It looks like it's going to be the 32-yard line.
Coach, I was a little surprised that Edgewater got no love in the state poll last week. Maybe it's the 3 losses. I don't know, but they you're a district champion. You play downtown in one of the major cities in the state. You got media coverage. That was a little surprising to me.
I didn't see the poll. Were they not mentioned at all?
They were not mentioned at all. That was last week's poll.
Yeah, Mainland was mentioned. They were mentioned as the #1 team in the state of Florida in this classification.
Pembleton looking to throw and finds his receiver. That's Brandon McLaughlin. We talked about him during the pregame on a short gain, if at all. Take that back. It's a loss of 2 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 12.
Coach told me one time you got to average 11 yards a catch if you're going to throw the ball and be successful. That's right there. Your stop routes against this 2-shell is going to be tough. I look for the fades to be coming if they're going to keep their DBs down. They're getting help over the top over there, but
was not Craig Rucker on the carry. But a pickup of 5 nonetheless. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Eagles.
It seems like most of Edgewater, or at least Rucker's rush yards, they like to get in this and they like to run him on the jet. And that's a lot of his rush yardage. I don't think they want to, dot the pistol as it may be with Rucker. He's a little fella. He's listed at 5'8", 155. But I will tell you this, the last guy that I saw run like him in a high school football game, I believe is playing at Oregon right now.
He's in the slot right now to the near side.
That's Michael Dozier in the backfield with Pendleton, who's looking to throw again. Looks to his right, now to his left, under a lot of pressure. And he's going to be sacked.
Had a chance for Rucker in the middle of the field, about 25 yards down the field, but didn't have time to set his feet and find him.
He has not been alone in that, Coach. This front four for Mainland, they're just hard to block. That first step, Rashad Totruck, his first step is just something else. And McCrary, they're just really, really physical and fast. We've got a little discussion going on here at the.
Got a flag down.
Yeah.
Marcus Brunson was the guy who's going to get credit for the sack.
Maybe a hold by the Mainland secondary.
It was about 10 yards down the field. Well, actually 20 yards down the field. They're looking at a 4th and 20 here.
The officials are not A1 officials.
They're from Brevard County.
We've already talked to the Edgewater coaches. Now the officials come over to the near side to talk to Scott Wilson and fill him in on the goings-on. Right now we're set up for a 4th down, and we'll call it 15 or 17.
If you're watching on TV here tonight or on the internet, watch the defensive line from Mainland when the ball snaps. See if they rush or if they peel out towards us to set the wall to the wide side of the field. No flag. They're going to wave it off. It's the longest discussion I've ever heard for no flag.
Fourth and 17, the Eagles are going to punt.
It's a rush, it's not a return.
Good kick.
Don't let it hit the ground, and it took a anti-punter's roll.
Bounce at the Mainland 40 and all the way back to midfield, where Mainland will have 1st and 10, their first offensive series of the night. Enter Denzel Houston and company.
Denzel Houston quarterback rating up in the 190s, which is just absolutely off the charts. We saw him last week a couple of times. Coach and I thought that there's an overthrow and he's missed his man, and there's somebody standing in the end zone catching it. It was he was hard to contain, and the South Lake bunch, they just didn't have an answer for him.
Four receivers into the game for the Buccaneers.
Nobody
Blair,
right away.
Blair. And he is one who Coach Bedsom said they have to get involved, and he is considered their strong safety outside linebacker type. They're playing 4 over the 3 and the 3-by-1, nobody in the middle of the field, and they're going to bring that strong safety off the edge is what their plan was.
Well, he definitely got involved.
He definitely got involved early.
5-yard penalty in favor of the Buccaneers. It's now 1st and 5.
This begs to send the tailback right down the middle of the field and throw him the ball.
Okay, they're changing the look on him. Now they're going to go back to their blitz, and they're going to bring C.D. Blair. Oh, they mollied it out here. Oh, very nice.
Good defensive scheme there.
Killens on the carry, and that's number 8 for Edgewater, Ladarius Payton, a 5'9", 180-pound junior. On the stop, gain of 1 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4 for the Buccaneers.
Anytime you're trying to dress this thing up and show them one thing and you give them another, you got to realize who you're calling your defense against. Are you calling against the quarterback? Are you calling against somebody who's calling the plays from up top?
They're setting it with this back. When the back is opposite 20s, when he's come on the attack. There's a little cutback trap they were working on Wednesday. Start the back to the left and trap back right.
Flag on the 43.
Killens again on the carry, stopped by C.D. Blair, and flag on the play.
Gonna get a hold. Well, I tell you, he was a step away right there, Coach.
Yes, he was.
Nobody, they got those safeties split so much, like you said, whether you run him down through there and throw it to him or you just give it to him and let him run through it, there is nobody there.
Holding will be the call against the Buccaneers.
Number of penalties here to start the game. Both teams probably a little bit nervous. I certainly would be.
It appears that the Buccaneers have dressed out the entire student section. There's a lot more guys on their sideline than usual, isn't it?
I don't think the band came tonight, so maybe they dressed some of them.
Houston's pass is caught. That's Kalo Hanna, and another flag coming in late. Hanna's brought down at the Edgewater 31-yard line.
That's Hannah's first playing time, I believe, since he was injured, say 6 weeks ago. I saw he was in practice with a pretty heavy brace on his leg, and all he did was point out who was blocking his time, where they were still taking it pretty easy on him yesterday.
We're going to get Marcus Bruce for a horse collar here, I believe is what it was, and it was a fade. He did get the mask, and yeah, you couldn't see if it was front or back here, but you just don't want to give these guys extra yards. You let them start on the downhill side, you give them a penalty on first down, and next thing you know, this offense is on to 25, and this is how they seem to start every ball game, Coach.
First and 10 Mainland from the 16-yard line.
Be interesting to see how patient Edgewater is going to be on defense. He ran a nice job on protection.
Great read by the quarterback.
Out of the backfield.
Tailback just flared right, and nobody went with him, and just Houston just dumped in the football. Going to bring her down there. It's going to be first and goal.
It's always quite an advantage when you don't play from behind. Okay.
Killens on the carry. Blair on the stop.
Full man-to-man coverage, 5-2 front.
Now we're going to get our little stack look out here.
Quarterback draw, maybe? We're going to roll him out to the left. He's under a little bit of pressure. And ripped up. C.D. Blair again on the stop for the Eagles.
C.D. Blair is one of the keys to the game for Coach Benson, and he's started the ball game off just making some outstanding plays. First rule on that rollout, you got to get it pulled up, and he did a nice job beating the blocking.
Third and goal for the Buccaneers from the 18-yard line.
One thing that's evident early on, Coach, there's a lot of speed out here.
Yep.
Houston's going to roll to his right, stop, direct some traffic, throw on the run.
Intercepted.
And that ball is intercepted by Compton Rosetta.
Very nice.
Big stop right there by Edgewater. Now they're going to take over on the 1-yard line, and their challenge is going to be to get that ball out, keep it out of the end zone.
Okay, so here's a question, and it's easy for us because we're a little bit older. In that situation, do you take the interception and knowing that your momentum is going to take you out of bounds and you're really in the hole, or do you just bat that down and see if they can convert a 40-yard field goal?
I find personally it's hard to have the wherewithal and the foresight to coach your kids up to say if they throw it right here, don't intercept it. Your kids are playing. They're going to play it. I think the momentum's fine. You don't want the ball here, but, hey, you don't want them to have the ball here either. So I think the trade-off is you've got the football.
I just wonder because they're a shotgun team, Coach Oakham, and as you've seen many, many times, whether it's first and goal and you're a shotgun team, or it's first and you're trying to score, or it's first and 10 and you're a shotgun team standing 7 yards deep. I just don't know if there's a right or a wrong.
Well, we'll know how this one turns out in a few more plays here, I think, but I agree. I think it's hard to coach a kid not to intercept when you're telling him all year.
But you're not going to be mad at him if he just batted that down and said, Coach.
Probably not.
Okay.
I didn't get mad.
No, never.
I did get even. But
Pendleton under pressure.
Great catch.
Has a receiver. Catches the ball on the run, back behind him. That's Malcolm Taylor, listed as a linebacker, so a lot of two-way guys going for the Eagles. Now 1st and 10. Now there's a lot of breathing room for the Eagles.
What a great catch that was. He just reached down, nailed it around his hip, and just speared it, moved the chains, gets him out of the hole.
7 minutes and counting here in the first quarter. The Edgewater Eagles 8-3 at the 11-0 and #1 ranked team in 6A, Mainland Buccaneers. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen. 1st and 10 for the Eagles from their 17-yard line.
Kyle Oliver filling that one up right nicely right there, Coach. He brought it. It looked like they had a little play, and it closed quickly.
And Kyle Oliver, Coach Yoakum, is a guy who has come on as of late for the Buccaneers.
He certainly has. I was watching Coach Brown work with the linebackers Wednesday, and he wore them out on the sled working on leverage drills. And I admire somebody that's still working fundamentals in the 12th, 13th week of the season.
Coach Brown's probably one of the more experienced coaches on the Buccaneer staff, and that's probably says a whole lot about that.
2nd down and 8 for the Eagles. Dozier on the carry. Oh, he's going to have a lot of yards. Unfortunately, that ball's going to come back.
Holding, I would guess.
Flag is thrown in that usual area, yes.
And we have a collision in the secondary right there. I like to see running backs rush the football that hard. Now, we've done a number of Mainland games, and now you can count on 2 hands the number of run plays that they've had for 10, 12, yards that way, and with a hole like that to run through.
I think he called chop block.
Wow.
He went to his hips. It doesn't matter. Nonetheless, it's against the Eagles. With exactly 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, it is scoreless between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Municipal Stadium and Larry Kelly Field. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen. 0-0 is your score. Edgewater and Mainland. The Eagles with a big penalty. It's 2nd down and 17.
About time for a Mainland defensive score.
Empty out the backfield. Pendleton on a slip screen.
Man. And, it took
Watkins on the reception.
Yeah, and I tell you what. You got Avery Walker right there. Avery Walker took 2 steps. He kind of felt that something was up and just retraced and was right there in the eyes of the receiver. That's a great play. Now they're going to get him out and substitute Daniel Kelly back in. Mainland's been substituting, we know, last week, and partially because of injury, but they've played a number of kids in the back. I see Bostic, 14, down here. He got picked on a little bit last week, and Southlake kind of tried to go after him. And in Nico Dotson's absence, they've been relying on some other kids to come in and kind of hold down the fort.
I thought it was going to be
Great block.
Here we go. That guy's pretty slow. You guys all that talk about this Craig Rucker guy. He didn't get around the corner fast enough.
Coach, let me just tell you something. Number 12, Buck Watkins, took somebody to the dance. About 13 yards, stayed engaged. What a great block.
He's like one of the, although he's one of the speedsters, they call the speedsters of this team, he's kind of the unheralded guy on this whole offense.
Well, he could play on my offense if he's going to block like that, because that was...
Another holding call goes against the Eagles, but the Buccaneers are going to decline that. Probably because they don't want to give Mr. Rucker a chance
Right.
to get loose. It's going to bring up a 4th down and about 4th and 6 for the Eagles and another punting situation.
And once again, I'd advise our viewers to watch the 4 or 5 people on the defensive line for Mainland. It's going to be pressure again. For the punt kick.
It's going to bounce to the 45, and this time it will take a punter's roll.
Yes, it did.
And it will go down and be downed at the 38-yard line of Mainland. So, here come the Buccaneers for their second possession of the game.
Well, Edgewater, it's a good start for Edgewater in keeping Mainland out of the end zone. This kind of, it's a little like last week, Coach.
Yep, kind of feeling each other out.
And there was a turnover, and it looked like Mainland was having a tough time getting untracked, and then the next thing you knew, the clock was running.
We got, looks like they're lined up like it's a man-to-man coverage.
Killens on the carry. One of the guys in on the stop for the Eagles, number 9, Malik Williams, a guy that the coaching staff at Edgewater said was one of the leaders on defense.
Yeah, and one of the keys to the game, he felt like his whole linebacker crew was just going to have to play well. Got some movement going. They've got an idea of how they want to play this Mainland offense early on. It's pretty obvious, and like Coach said, everybody's feeling everybody out.
I look for before long for one of the inside receivers to run a drag pattern here and see what they get out of it.
Houston Rowland has a receiver wide open and just overthrows Wilfred Taylor.
Just a little smash route out there and had him running wide open.
Coach Oakham, coming into a game like this, how much is it possible to over-prepare?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know what the base defense for Edgewater is, but I noticed that they're moving. As Mainland's moving, I mean, you find.
Well, I think they've got some film tendencies, so they want to try to stop the running backs. I won't be surprised to see number 9 squeeze in here a little bit to try to come across the four. Well, no, I'm sorry. It'll be down here at the bottom, number 23.
Here he comes.
And there's the tackle, and it's a good thing they made it from the backside.
Very early on, Coach Allen, it is very apparent that Edgewater has been coached up on how to make the open field tackle, a very difficult tackle to make.
Yeah, and I find it the better athletes that you have, the better they are at that, the less you teach it, not that you don't work on it. But their speed is just, it stops things before it gets started. He avoided the kick out block right there and allowed somebody to come underneath, and probably the speediest bunch Mainland's seen in a few weeks.
Yeah, and they've had some practice tackling their own backs who've got some speed.
Absolutely.
So Mainland's not a complete surprise speed-wise, too.
Ja'Kai Polite in to punt it away for the Buccaneers. He gets his big foot into it. Nice spirally kick. It'll be fielded. It's going to be fielded at the 27-yard line, and everybody's waiting for a flag to come in after a fair catch was called for. That's not going to be the case. The Eagles are going to get 1st and 10.
I think if you're going to call the hold over there on the bubble play, that maybe you call that. I don't think it was malicious, but at the same time, the rule doesn't say anything about it being malicious. It says is there contact, and there was obviously some contact there. But
Coach Allen, I don't know if you've had enough time to look over the Edgewater roster, but when you just do a quick put your finger at the top and skate down to the bottom, there aren't very many big dudes on here, except for their 6'3" defensive end.
Yeah, we noticed that on the field. Coach Oakham pointed out they're not very tall. They're just not very tall. But it's not a height contest.
But if you're athletic enough to compete, it doesn't matter how tall or heavy you are.
Absolutely, and there's a heart component and a want to and a desire kind of thing in there. And these guys have gotten themselves 8 wins and got a district championship. They play downtown in Orlando. They've seen talent. They're not in awe of the Mainland talent, and as you can see, we're 2:43 left in the first quarter, and Mainland's not scored, and they've had a little bit of success rushing the football, a little bit throwing the ball, and they're not being stymied by any stretch.
Well, there's definitely a little bit of swagger to this Edgewater team.
Yes, and here comes your tunnel screen. If you get it blocked here, there you go.
There's Mr. Rucker.
Man, I tell you.
On the reception. Gain of 8.
Very nice. Very nice. They're giving Mainland a little taste of their own medicine is basically what it comes down to, and just trying to find ways to get your athletes the ball in space and let them operate. And I will tell you that number 2 is quite an athlete. State track meet last year, Mr. Rucker ran 10-3.
In the what? Come on.
10-3. That is
as a sophomore.
Did that win it?
I don't think he won it.
Wow.
Is that possible?
Florida.
Wow. I'm just not impressed. Here we go. Minute 45 and counting. That's Dozier on the carry. He's going to be stopped just short of the first down. Brings up 4th down for the Eagles. 4th and about a yard and a half.
I think the Eagles would be smart to punt this football, but I haven't seen a lot of movement on the sideline over there. Or is this just a 3rd down coming up? It wouldn't be real smart to punt it on 3rd down.
Well, it would be smart if you had a trick play.
We've got another penalty. We've got illegal motion.
It would have brought up a 4th down, which is what I was saying. So it's going to be 3rd down, replay the down.
I see.
I've only missed one game.
The cold game.
No, I was here for the cold game. This guy right here kept tallies on me. Mainland will decline the penalty, and it will bring up the 4th down. Like I said. Coming in to punt for the 3rd time for the Eagles is number 18. That's Aaron Baum.
Mainland is leaving everybody in. They're looking for fake here. They're going to play some base defense and cover everybody. And
hard count.
They only have 10 men out there.
There's your fake. Oh, they got to reverse, and it's played.
They can't stop him. They can't stop that kid.
Wow.
They can't stop him. They just can't stop this kid. The only person who had a chance was Cyrus Fagan. He didn't take the greatest of routes to Mr. Rucker, but it didn't matter what.
His angle was not that bad. He just got left standing where he was. Mr. Rucker can fly. Great call. I like it. You're the underdog. You've come to their place.
Did I call fake up here?
Well, I didn't hear it.
No, I believe I said they were watching for the fake. They just weren't watching.
But I said I would fake it right here.
Oh, well, congratulations to you.
I mean, I just said it right then.
Oh, okay.
First has it. It's good to be back. Doubleton's going to go up top, has a receiver. It's going to be a jump ball.
What a great play by the
in and out of the
receiver.
hands.
I know you didn't see it.
I can see a little. My angle's not good. It's just
Randy Baker on the defensive side of the
Randy
ball.
Baker, okay.
Number 12 stopped Randy Baker from intercepting the ball, and it's a great play.
The play before, they had Gregory down here, and Gregory's a guy that has been picked on just a little bit, and one of those DBs is getting some time along with Bostic in the absence of Miko Dotson. And if I had wideouts like McLaughlin, I would throw it up to him also. He's a good-looking young man.
That's Rucker on the carry this time.
I will say this, early on, I'm seeing some Mainland defensive linemen having to get up from off the ground, and we haven't seen a lot of that. That's telling me that those short, squatty bodies of Edgewater, they're getting after them a little bit.
Yeah.
3rd down and 6 for the Eagles from the Mainland 35-yard line. 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
They're going to have illegal motion unless that guy resets.
Edgewater calls timeout. As they take it, we will as well. 0-0 is your score. We'll be right back.
much like he says.
Welcome back to Municipal Stadium and Larry Kelly Field. Billy Gahagan, Rocky Yoakum, and Steve Allen. 29 seconds remaining in the first quarter of this scoreless game between the Edgewater Eagles and Mainland Buccaneers. Eagles on the move following a fake punt. Pembleton has Mr. Rucker near side. He's going to be taken out of bounds, and that's A.J. Westbrook, the Florida State University verbal commit.
Looks like he picked up the first down. They're going to bring it in across here in a minute. Oh, they're going to give him the first down. Good call, officials. All right.
And a good tackle by Westbrook there. It hit this guy right here is nobody you want to have to be left alone with in the open field.
First quarter's going to come to an end, 0-0.
Take us to break, Coach Yoakum.
We'll be right back to Municipal Stadium in beautiful Daytona Beach.
Works for me. Welcome back to Municipal Stadium, Larry Kelly Field. Start of the second quarter between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. 0-0 the score. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. We're going to come near side.
Got him.
Pembleton has a receiver wide open. Touchdown.
That's a college catch right there, folks.
Touchdown, Brandon McLaughlin.
That was a great job. He used his right arm to kind of hold off
he
the
is
receiver.
not hurt. Yes, Coach, you are correct. It was some kind of catch, but he's getting up gingerly, but what a great throw and catch.
Yeah.
He did a good job just levering himself to give himself a chance to make the play.
Nice ball.
Well, for I count only the second time this season, Mainland has given up a first half score, and they're behind nonetheless. So we'll see how we were worried about how patient Edgewater would be. How patient is Mainland going to be now that they are playing from behind?
In to attempt the point after is Aaron Baum. Snap, hold, kick. And we have ourselves a score. It's Edgewater 7, Mainland nothing on the first play of the second quarter. Coach Yoakum, the Mainland faithful, they seem a bit stymied.
They're pretty calm. I think they don't get too excited over here at Mainland. They've been behind a little bit before, not much, but that's a surprise. If my prediction holds true, Mainland's going to now score 42 unanswered points, and that's going to be tough to do.
It's going to be tougher for Edgewater to match my point total that I predicted, since they now have 7 and I predicted 8.
They'd have to go to Canada and get a rouge, wouldn't they?
A rouge.
I'm just a little disappointed that you guys never asked me what my thoughts were, but I don't want to.
What are your thoughts?
It doesn't matter, because I think that Edgewater is going to beat Mainland.
Well,
you didn't even give us a score?
I didn't have to. I'm just telling you.
My older prediction is that, though, Coach Yoakum. After they get the first score, then you make your prediction that they're going to win.
I called the fake punt. I called. You guys are
welcome
tough.
to the Affirmation Bowl. I like this. We missed you last week, Coach.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Aaron Baum.
He's
going to pooch kick it.
That's
a loose ball. That's a loose ball.
And
I don't know. I think momentum might have taken him out of bounds. Waiting for the sign. Waiting for it.
Tread ball.
We're waiting. We're waiting.
Tread ball.
We're holding. We're waiting. We're anticipating.
And
everybody's lobbying on that side, Fred. And it's Edgewater ball. First down, Edgewater. Follow the muff.
So we've got a fake punt that leads to a touchdown, and now we've got a fumbled kickoff. Those are two kicking game plays that we can mark down as plays that have really affected this ball game. And now you look at Killens coming off the field a little.
He is, Coach.
A little slow,
He is.
Kind of got his dauber down a little bit.
Hold that hip, Coach. Hold that left hip.
Yep.
They're still talking about this, gentlemen. I can see a reversal coming in the future, and if it does,
wow,
this place is going to go bananas.
Well, the other side will go bananas.
They're still together. That's never a good sign.
Did he just go pick up a flag?
I think what they may have called initially might have been an offsides, perhaps, on Edgewater, and now they're discussing, and they're just going to wave it off. We're just going to play football. It's Edgewater ball.
No flag.
There it is.
1st and 10 Eagles from the Mainland 32-yard line.
Billy, I was right there, by the way.
I noticed.
Thank you.
One
time this year.
It's our cup runneth over with predictions up here. Cortez Pembleton. Do we go up top again, or we just hand the ball off right now to Mr. Rucker? Runamacher.
3 physical inside between the tackle.
Kevin McCrary got up a little excited. He must have done something nice. No gain on the play.
The one player who appeared to be unfazed by the onside kick and the recovery by Edgewater. Just a really good kid, good spirit about him. He's become quite a leader for a young guy in there on this defense.
Pembleton, near side to Watkins. Gain of 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down for the Eagles at the Mainland 29-yard line.
Their listing buck is 6 foot. He has the look of being a little longer than that. He's a long 6 foot. He looks taller than that.
Joe Clark is going to check out of the ball game along with Malcolm Taylor.
Bostic also in on defense. Tillman out. So on 3rd down, they've gone to their nickel package. Is what's happened there.
MJ Butler comes near side. Michael Dozier in the backfield with Cortez Pembleton. 3rd down, Pembleton, middle screen.
Beautiful.
Nobody there.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Dozier's going to be
recovered.
Ball was actually stripped by Kyle Oliver.
What a big turn of events. You've got the ball on the 10-yard line. You've made a great call on 3rd down and 8. You've just recovered the onside. All the momentum is with you to possibly put the Bucks down by 2 scores, and you have it taken from you. He didn't lay it on the ground. He had it taken from him. And Kyle Oliver's been responsible for at least 3 turnovers in the last 2 ball games. And like you mentioned before, Coach Gagan, he's just playing well. He's been quite a surprise for the Buccaneers.
And quiet for the first 8 weeks. So 1st and 10, Mainland from their 12-yard line. Looking to at least tie the game. Wow. Oh, the ball's on the ground. It's going all over the place, waiting for the sign. It's going to be Edgewater ball here.
It does appear it is, Coach. I really believe it.
A nice little scrum going on at the 11-yard line. Edgewater's excited. We still haven't received official confirmation. Waiting, still waiting. I guess we don't have to wait any longer for 1st down, Edgewater.
And they get the ball back where they would have had it initially on the 3rd down conversion.
Turnovers and kicking game. This is a hallmark game for that sort of thing.
This will be Edgewater's 5th possession. It's 1st and 10 from the Mainland 11-yard line following a Mainland
They're going to go after
fumble.
Gregory, Coach. They're going to go after Gregory on the fade route here right away. He's getting help inside, but he's going to shake him inside. That's going to hold the safety with the flanker coming over. Nope. Oh! Man, what a ball game.
Mishandled in the backfield, but recovered again by Cortez Pembleton.
Getting a little chippy.
I don't think the Edgewater fellas are going to back off 1 inch tonight.
Would not appear, Coach. They brought their swag with them, didn't they?
They sure did, and I admire that.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of 4 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 14 for the Eagles.
Coach, it kind of goes back to taking over that program that was, the doormat. It's a lot easier to get those guys to sold on the fact that nobody believes we can. And
that's right.
Unites your team, and it gives you something to fight together for. And what do they got to lose? Fake punts, reverses, throw it up, take your shots. There he is, strike.
That's a nice catch, nice run after the catch, ball loose. 2 white shirts diving in there late.
Yeah,
and those are outside receivers too.
Yep.
But my problem with this is the only players were running there. The officials were not hustling.
No, the officials have not hustled much tonight, and I don't like being critical of the officials.
No, not at all.
But they're like I said earlier, it seems like when you get in the playoffs, things fly around. Everything's faster. But
yes.
It starts with the professionalism and the conduct of the officials.
And we've already had one critical turnover on a 1-yard line, and that would have been another situation the same way. Those are big plays in these games.
I think that was Watkins on the reception.
Woo!
Templeton's going to hand the ball off to Mr. Rucker on 1st and goal. He'll lose 3 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and goal now from the 5.
They run the jet. I've watched a little bit of tape on Edgewater, and they like to get Rucker on the jet. This would be a great opportunity to run your jet reverse with Rucker and then maybe to one of the other guys. Mainland's got him ganged up inside. They're piling it up inside for the run. But there's 3 backs in the backfield, so why not? I've got fade and a cut down split on the outside to the left here. And that back can reset.
I probably should have started marking penalties, Bill, because this seems to be another one of those kind of games where we're going to have a ton of penalties.
But thus far, I think the penalties have been
merited.
Yep. Jumping off sides, doing this, doing that. Nothing crazy. Oh, here we go.
Offside Mainland?
Yes.
That's what I thought. What I thought.
Yeah, Coach, like I said, because the back can step forward and reset.
Yes, you can.
2nd and goal for the Eagles. 7:55 and counting in the 1st half. Quick fade route. That's Mr. Watkins. And incomplete. Templeton to Watkins, incomplete. Hard to see who was in defensively. Might have been Cyrus Fagan on the coverage.
Cyrus has got some great vertical jump. That touchdown catch he made last week, he got up in the air to go get it.
And you've got Westbrook down here chirping it
at
McLaughlin a whole bunch. And I know that AJ's a phenomenal player, but McLaughlin's already shown us that he is. And they're on the wide side of the field. There's a lot of room to throw the fade down here. That's where I thought they might come with that.
Guys, I don't know if you realize this or not, but they have Ja'Kai Polite playing defensive back.
I don't know.
That'll stop the
scored another touchdown right there. Like I said, don't talk to let sleeping dogs lie.
Yes, sir. Now, Gobon, he's not going to say anything to him. That's wonderful.
McLaughlin on the touchdown reception. Great pitch and catch. But again, I want to point out
that
they had Ja'Kai Polite in the secondary playing defensive back.
He's something else, Coach. We've talked about this.
And I don't want to take anything away from the touchdown catch because it was a great catch.
You know what they call him at practice?
No.
All-State.
Fittingly.
All-State, Mo Money, or whatever it was. It doesn't matter. Touchdown, Edgewater. And
then take a look at the Mainland bench.
Yep. pretty flat.
You talk about taking the wind out of your sails. You've only given up a couple first half scores. You haven't been behind, maybe once. I don't know that for sure as a fact, but you're now down 2 scores. And once again, I will be interested to see how the offensive staff at Mainland handles this with 7:42 left in the first half and down 2 scores.
Penalty goes against the Eagles. Going to push him back. Mr. Baum is in to attempt a 25-yard point after his kick is up, and it's good. Edgewater now leads the number 1 team in Class 6A by a score of 14-0. Let's stay right here, guys, and let's talk about that for a second, because this game, Coach Yoakum, has been penalty and turnover laden, and judging by the notes I've kept, minus this last one, a punt led to Edgewater's first score, but a turnover led to the second.
A fake punt led to Edgewater's first score.
Well, they fake punted, but I mean, Mainland turned the ball over on a punt. So Edgewater didn't, you know what I'm saying? They didn't get the ball initially on a turnover. They got it on a change of possession.
Right.
But their fake punt kept things going.
Yes.
So Edgewater has come into this game and basically just laid it all out on the table.
Well, right, and Mainland couldn't have done a worse thing for their morale than to fumble the kickoff after the first score, and now it's led to a second score. So somebody's going to have to rise up in the blue and gold in order to get this thing back going for the Bucks.
Another short kick, another possible turnover.
Edgewater's got
definitely a fumble.
They have
and again,
found their
we're
guy.
going to wait.
They have found their guy.
No, they've got Mainland. They're going to award the ball to Mainland, but they have found their guy.
Found their guy over there, because you could see he did not pick it up. It was headed for just turf, and he kind of had to readjust late, and that was what the cause of the mishandle was. Just hats off to the Edgewater Eagles. They're coming here. They're playing to win.
Bucks take the field here with 7:35 to go in the second quarter, trailing 14-0.
And Killen's off the field.
Is this Polite out here at the receiver position?
Polite is the middle receiver.
I'm guessing that could be to block for one of these other guys. He's kind of check. He doesn't get a lot of reps on offense.
Or the dreaded double pass that we saw with the 35-7 score.
Timeout Mainland.
Timeout Mainland. As they take it, we will take it as well. 14-0 your score. Edgewater leading Mainland. Welcome back. You just saw Denzel Houston under a lot of pressure, and he was finally brought down after a loss of about 1.5 on the play. It's 7:18 remaining in the second quarter. Edgewater leading Mainland by a score of 14-0.
This is the best defense I've seen against Mainland in any of the games I've seen so far this year.
Agreed.
Empty set again for the second play in a row. Shallow cross. Wheel route. Jokai Polite.
In and out of the hands of number 10.
Met up roughly with my man C.D. Blair. He's playing a whale of a football game.
You know, I never thought I would say this, but to this point in the game, Mainland's getting out hit.
Absolutely.
And I've not seen that.
And with each tick of the clock, with this two-score deficit, their confidence, it wanes a little. Even the number one team in the state, I mean, their confidence wanes. And they've found out they've got their hands full.
Third down and 11 for the Buccaneers. From their 27-yard line, Houston, he's going to look to throw deep, has a receiver.
Intercepted.
And I mean,
and he's picked off.
He baited him right there. That is number 7, Ronald Woodruff, coach. It was a post corner. Woodruff laid on and continued to pedal, and he baited him into throwing that. He was on that better than the wideout was on it. Hey.
They had in their scheme of that play, they had the tailback run straight down the middle of the field. I think they'll come back to it again, but
yeah.
But now,
and we're walking off the field here again. How do we handle adversity? It's so key. It's just so key.
First and 10, Edgewater from their 49-yard line, following a Denzel Houston interception. Templeton coming near side to Rucker. Rucker's going to evade one tackler. That was Javian Williams, the potential stop. I take that back. That was Randy Baker.
He knew the first guy was not going to tackle him because he just put his hand out and started looking downfield to see what's next.
Sure did, Coach.
Wow.
I think we knew that as well.
Polite needs to get out back on his side of the ball. He's going over to the huddle, check things out.
Gain of 6 on the play. It'll bring up second down and 4.
Oh, my goodness. Corner blitz.
Dozier on the carry. He's going to go absolutely nowhere. In fact, he's going to lose 2 yards on the play. It'll be third down for the Eagles.
Against a defense like Mainland, you don't have to have a lot of success running the ball, coaches, but you have to continue to rush the football to keep them honest. Those fade routes, though, they're serving to get where they set the screen up, where they had the one turnover on. That was a wonderful play call, and I look for them to come back to that at some point.
Third down. Pendleton looks to his right.
Picked up the blitz.
Roll away from some pressure and wisely throw the ball out of bounds. It'll be fourth down for the Eagles.
Absolutely.
Good coverage in the secondary there. Nowhere to go with the ball. Boyd the sack throw. They brought the inside linebacker, and usually when Mainland brings the inside linebacker, not long after the ball snap, you see a blue streak going into the backfield. He didn't penetrate the line.
Did not.
Gonna have another drink of water here, folks.
Because it's such a hot night.
It is.
14-0 your score. Edgewater leading Mainland in this semifinal contest. Mainland 11-0 against 8-3 Edgewater, a school once considered a powerhouse, had some years off from the playoffs, and 1-9 last year. They're district champions in the semifinal. Coach Oakham, that's quite a bit of a turnaround. That wasn't gradual. That was let's get it done.
That's immediate, and that's. Again, those kids that are playing now, when they were in grade school, they were seeing great football played at Edgewater, and when they were in junior high or middle school, it was kind of average, and now they're here, and it's getting better again.
Coach Allen, coming into this game, I'm sure Edgewater's game plan was, hey, we have nothing to lose. This is the number 1 team in the state. Let's kind of get after it. But it's obviously a lot easier to coach when you're up 14-0.
It sure is, but I think that's been evident in the way that Coach has gone about his play calling and what's going on here. And like I said, as the 2-point deficit makes Mainland's confidence wane, it boosts the Edgewater confidence in playing with the 2-touchdown lead. They're feeling pretty good about things. Even though they don't get the first down here, a decent kick, they're going to flip the field down here. They're going to keep Mainland backed up. Number 1 team in the state hadn't scored a point right now. You got to be feeling pretty good about your defensive plan.
Aaron Baum into pump. It's a nice punt off. It's going to bounce off. Bounce at the 2-yard line and go into the end zone. Mainland will have the ball first and 10 from their 20-yard line. 5:46 remaining in the first half. Billy Gahagan Rocky Yoakum and Steve Allen. You're watching the 8-3 Edgewater Eagles, district champions of Region 10, taking on the district champions of Region 9, or District 9 rather, the Mainland Buccaneers. Mainland 11-0 and ranked number 1 in Class 6A. 14-0 is again your score. Edgewater over Mainland. The Buccaneers have the ball, 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line.
Both the district champions took care of business last week to the tune of 77-7. Hello.
Adrian Killens on the carry, and he's going to be met right away. One of the Eagles in on the stop was number 25, Johnny Matos.
Killens is gimpier now than he was. He'll be lucky to finish this thing out unless he gets better, because that looks like a hip pointer to me.
Coach, it looked like he got hurt on the onside kick, and I don't believe he was involved.
No, he was deep. Yeah. Unless he just dove into the pile late or something.
Houston, low snap, throws far side.
It could have been 21-0 after on that play right there. That's Rucker, wasn't it?
Coach, that was
3. I'm
Rosetta, Compton Rosetta. He was all over that stop route, and he just about stepped in front and went the distance.
Coach Allen, Rosetta was straight out of Compton. That was Will Collins, the intended receiver. We'll explain that one to you later, Coach Yoakum.
I've been to Compton, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Close enough. You get half credit
Thank you.
on my test. 3rd and 10.
More than I usually get.
It's not a webcast unless I ask you, Coach Hogan, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
I tell you what, you guys had me going on that. There's a nice catch by Wilford Taylor.
Sure was.
Or maybe, yeah, it is Wilford Taylor.
And again, you know, there's our man C.D. Blair. Is just draped all over him. It's a
He's
great
all
catch,
over the place.
C.D. Blair is playing a whale of a football game. Mainland fans getting a little restless. They're not used to this.
4th down. Are they going to go? No, they're going to punt the football. They're going to have to punt the football here.
Oh, the Mainland faithful wanted them to go for it.
They may. The punter is lined up here. They're going to go.
Package, Coach. They're going to bring it.
There they come.
I like it.
That's McCrary in the backfield. He's going to serve as a lead blocker. The snap is direct to Killens. He's going to pick up enough yards, 2 on the play. Move the chains, 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers.
That's gutsy.
Coach, C.D. Blair took Kyle Oliver and just
folded him up and put him in an envelope.
Thank you very much, U.S. Postal System. My goodness. They are not, there's no back down in these Eagles, I'll tell you.
They'll stay in this formation.
Coach Allen, I might as well just go ahead and throw this. This is a sort of a shout out, but Coach Campanella just said straight out of Compton. I love it.
He does. He knows.
Houston has a receiver. Oh, in and out of the hands
Wilford
Taylor.
Once again, the waning confidence deal. These are plays that Mainland has made all year, and like you say, Coach, when you're running, clocking people, or you're up 2 touchdowns. These plays are easier to make than when there's something more on the line. There's some pressure. You're under duress. You feel like you're pressing to make these plays. That's a well-thrown ball. That needs to be caught right there.
2nd and 10 for the Buccaneers from their 32-yard line. 3 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the first half. Edgewater with a 14-point lead over the Buccaneers, 14-0.
Rucker in here at corner on this side. Oh, my goodness.
No, sir. Absolutely not. Johnny Matos, the only guy over 6'2" on this entire roster, says no thank you. He's going to wrestle Mr. Killens down to the ground, and it'll be 3rd down for the Buccaneers.
He's the defensive end that the Mainland coaches were pretty impressed with.
And Coach, we've talked all year about Denzel Houston and how he has not played like a sophomore. When things don't go well, your trigger puller has got to have some leadership ability on the bench, not necessarily on the field, but when things aren't going well, to talk to other players, to keep them up, to make them, hey, we're confident, this is going to be okay. And
that could be late hit out of bounds right there.
Houston goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It looks like it's going to be a good no flag call as Randy Baker was blocking the Edgewater defender, and he hit Houston out of bounds. It's going to bring a 4th down and 12 for the Buccaneers. I'm just going to go ahead and go out on a limb here, gentlemen, and say there won't be a fake punt here. You're welcome.
I think that's probably a good call. You haven't been wrong all year, so I don't know why I would doubt it now.
And we, as a team, are undefeated, but our undefeated streak is on the line here, boys.
On the line.
From their 30-yard line, Ja'Kai Polite he's able to come down with it.
6'5".
That's it.
Sir.
End over end kick. Bounces at the
He's
45.
Catch it on the run.
Catch it on the run and be brought down at the 42-yard line.
McLaughlin is something else, guys.
And, you know, that's one of those plays, Dean of Coaches, that he's an aggressive player. Obviously, it's one of those things. If he would have fumbled that, would he have been yelled at by his coach?
Yes.
He would have been yelled at, even though he's an aggressive guy, just taking some chances, or is that too much of a chance?
What I saw a Mainland player not giving full effort, and I think he saw the same thing and thought, this guy's really not paying close attention. I'm going to try to catch it on the bounce, and it worked out for him that time. But nobody covering that receiver at the top of the screen, really. He's now they're going to shift on out there.
Pendleton's going to fake the handoff, be brought down at the 45-yard line by Kyle Oliver. Gain of 4 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 6.
First time we've seen a quarterback run tonight.
Yep. Not the first time we've seen a flag, but maybe that may just be a towel.
Second down for the Eagles. 2 minutes and 35 seconds and counting in the first half.
Trying to get the defense changed up here.
Here comes Mr. Rucker.
Oh my.
Excuse me.
Oh my.
There goes Mr. Rucker. Should have just gone on with it. Yes, he did.
1 2 minutes.
Yes, he did.
Stayed with
What a great run.
Indeed.
Cyrus Fagan on the stop. A wise coach that I worked for once told his running back, you make one move and you live with it.
That's what I heard too.
That he was wise.
Same wise coach.
That's right. Boy, did he know what he was talking about.
Well, apparently nobody told Mr. Rucker about that philosophy.
I didn't coach many guys like Mr. Rucker. I might let him make all the cuts he wants. But
I'm going to tell you what, I don't think Mainland has seen many players like Mr. Rucker.
No.
He is.
Well, they see guys like him every day.
Well, Coach, I'm not sure about that, Coach. They got some. I'm not sure he might not be just a smidge and a cut above from a speed standpoint.
If he's 300 meters, he's definitely a smidge ahead of him.
Yeah, that's
flying.
It is.
Dozier on the carry. That's Marcus Brunson, the senior defensive lineman, on the stop. It'll be a gain of 0 on the play. 2nd down and 10.
And we kind of chuckled at South Lake trying to run that little, just pitch it out there and run around at you, talking about how you never found that was a way that you beat Mainland. And I think that speaks to Rucker's ability and speed. Exactly. Toss it out there. It looks like it's dead, and he just sets you up and finds a crease and goes.
Comes some pressure, looks like inside from Mainland, yes, and it's the fade again.
They got him. It's interference.
Flag on the play. He made the catch. Oh, it's incomplete.
It's going to be interference, though.
Okay, let me hear it. Which way? Let's go now.
Oh, it's on Mainland.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because Westbrook never found the ball.
Westbrook has given up a touchdown. Now he's got a pass interference. He better hurry up and sign that scholarship.
Yes, sir, because or maybe get his mouthpiece in a little tighter, because I don't think he needs to be talking to these guys.
Holding is the call against Mainland. And that's going to give Edgewater enough yards for a first down. And they will move the chains. First down, Edgewater from the Mainland 16-yard line.
Does anybody dare say that if Edgewater could punch in a third score and put Mainland down in just completely uncharted territory here, that Mainland cannot come back?
I wouldn't say that Mainland could not come back, but I would say Edgewater would have to help them.
I think they definitely have the ability to come back, but I don't know the last time they were ever down 21 points to know how to come back. Because that has to be one of the biggest, definitely the biggest deficit this year, but in recent years, I can't think of how many times they've been down by 3 scores.
You could probably count it on one hand in a decade, to be honest with you.
Yep.
It's definitely a different situation for the Buccaneers. Penalty against the Eagles pushes them back another 5 yards. It'll be first down and 15.
Rucker's in the back.
From the 21.
I'd like to see him run that speed option to Rucker to the right there. They got enough here. Oh, it's a toss. Sort of the same idea. A little different result.
The thing that's impressive about Rucker is he's going to string it out as far as he possibly can, and if it's not there, he's just going to go out of bounds. He's not going to bury his shoulder, try and run anybody over. He basically takes what's given to him.
Well, Billy, that comes from being 5'8", 155. That's not his game. He's made a living stringing that thing out and just putting his foot in the ground. And he gets perpendicular very quick.
Loss of quite a few on the play, loss of another 5, so it's going to be second down and 20.
You got Peyton on Gregory down here on the bottom left.
Under pressure, going to dump it off. Here's Mr. Rucker. And nice open field tackle by number 7, Kyle Oliver.
Yep.
Get used to hearing it, folks. Third down.
Edgewater seems to be content to let the clock run here and make this be the do or die thing here. Now they're going to take timeout. Okay.
Probably think about it a little bit. I would think that they're close to being in range, in field goal range.
I don't know.
Look at the wind. We got the wind going with us. It's blowing. We're undefeated up here now.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing their kicker bomb in pregame, whether he was doing any deep kicks or not.
I don't believe his last name is Fitting. Thank you. Thank you.
Say it again.
I don't believe his last name is Fitting.
He's bomb from Compton.
I'm stretching. I got too much pent up frustration from not being here last week.
That's right. I'm just too easy a target. That's the problem.
14-0 your score. Edgewater leads Mainland. 40 seconds remaining in the first half. You're watching the semifinal game between Edgewater and Mainland. I'm Billy Gahagan. He's Steve Allen, and he's Rocky Yoakum. Something I said?
Not at all.
Okay, thank you. It'll be third down and quite a distance for the Eagles. They've thought about it. We're going to definitely run a play before we decide whether or not we're going to try a field goal.
Is this going to be the speed sweep we've been talking about? Here comes the motion for it. No snap of the ball, though.
Oh, he's got a couple guys open. He's wide open.
Take that for a touchdown.
He's wide open.
That's number 6.
That's number 6. That's 3 for Brandon McLaughlin.
Coach.
He is good.
That guy is something else. And it's a good play call. It's just bubble go. And 2 does a good job of throwing his hands up and bringing him to him. And I'm going to be looking for him as well. But they changed it up a little bit. Looks like they might have had maybe even a little switch with the other 2 guys. I didn't get that. We'll look at the replay and see if that's what it was.
Yeah, we'll watch it here. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep, undefeated.
This guy is.
Wow.
Aaron Baum in to attempt the point after.
I don't think they would have attempted a field goal.
No, sir. Thus, the last name is not fitting. 21-0 your score. Edgewater over Mainland 34 seconds ago, and we're just in the first half.
And there's nobody in this stadium that thought they were going to see this, although Coach Gahagan did predict after they were already ahead that they would win. That's, I don't.
We've seen a few teams.
Back in the pool hall in Cherokee, Oklahoma, we call that pushing the beads.
Well, here in Volusia County, we call it knowing the game. Thank you.
Knowing when to talk.
Gotta love the position you're in.
Gotta love the one you're with. That's right.
That's right. Anyway.
Well, I'll say this. It's definitely more interesting, and not that we're gloating in Mainland's deficit here, but we know what they have. We know how much speed and how quick strike they are. This is the challenge. This is the one that they've waited for all year. And to win a state championship, they're going to have to rise up, and they're going to have to handle this 3-score deficit.
That's Wilford Taylor, I believe, over there now, or is that number 6? I can't. No, I believe it's 8. I believe that's Wilford Taylor. And I don't know if that's the guy that's been getting all these balls kicked in, but that's the area.
He's going to get another one.
Fielded at the 25. Here comes Wilford Taylor. He's got a crease. He's got a seam. He's got one man to beat.
There was Rucker, and he couldn't do it.
Absolutely not. There's only 3 guys in the stadium that can outrun Mr. Rucker, and they're up here retired. Give you guys some credit.
All right, we got 28 seconds. What's Mainland going to do? They're going to have some momentum going into the halftime.
Well, they have 28 seconds to find it, and that was Rosetta Compton on the stop.
I love it.
His first name is now Straight Outta.
That's it.
Like it. I like it, Bill. You're really good. And did you say that we have Coach Campanella is tuned in tonight?
Coach Campanella is sitting at home.
Coach Campanella
taking it all in.
Hey, we're pulling for you, Coach Camp.
Yes, we are. Get those pitchers and catchers going.
1st and 10 Buccaneers from the Edgewater 37-yard line.
Sprint pass.
They pull him up again.
Houston's under pressure. He's going to not go down. Maintain his composure. Find an open receiver.
There's some physical tackles going on. There's some running around going on. What a nice play.
Looked like some clipping going on from here, but I don't know. But, yes, he does a nice job. Edgewater's scheme to pull him up on the sprint out pass has been very well conceived. They've done a nice job. He's proven all year he's a hard guy to make the tackle on.
Timeout, Mainland.
16 seconds.
Taylor on the reception. That was Baker that we saw throwing his body around. This is one of those games, Coach Oakham, where you just throw your best 11 out there.
Well, they're fixing to throw Ja'Kai Polite out there. I tell you what really convinced me of that two-way thing. We were playing St. Augustine one year, and they had 2 linebackers that both weighed 240, and they got the ball down on the 2-yard line, and they didn't have a scheme to bring those 2 big boys in and just knock our teeth out. And I thought at the time if I would be wrong if it was time to score and you didn't have Ricky Neal and Lamar Glenn and those guys lined up in the offensive backfield. So we worked at doing those things, and it looks like they don't put Polite in there just so he can get a little more exercise. He'll be involved somehow in this.
And that's one of those things, and that's exactly the reason you put your best 11. You don't have to have them out there every time, but you need to know when to put your best 11 on the field.
You need to have the capability of putting them out there. All right, Polite's down here by himself on number 3, so they're going to run him down here and throw it on number 13. I'm sorry.
2nd down and 3 for the Buccaneers.
Keep your eye on the bottom of the screen.
The 31. Houston looks to his left, under pressure, and he's going to be sacked.
And if they don't have a timeout,
2 guys in on there.
He is sacked violently. I don't think he saw the pressure from this side as he tried to escape, and he took a full frontal.
Mainland will call another timeout because, as Coach Allen always says, you can't take them with you.
Can't take them with you.
So Mainland will call timeout.
Yeah, they also want to run another play.
10 seconds remaining. Everyone in the stadium is in awe right now. Shock and awe. 21-0. Edgewater is leading Mainland High School. Mainland, other than on a turnover, this has been their best field position that they've
They really haven't threatened tonight, have they?
No, they have not.
Well, they've got a chance to run maybe 2 more plays, but I don't know how many timeouts Mainland has left. Our new scoreboard doesn't allow you to know that.
3rd down and 9 for the Buccaneers. Houston will be by himself in the backfield. 5 receivers, and one of those is a guy by the name of Ja'Kai Polite at 6'4", 270 some odd pounds. Edgewater has everybody all over this field, basically saying, go ahead and throw it in an open area.
They got a safety back here on the 2-yard line for the deep ball.
Houston.
Whether that's going to work or not. No,
there's Polite on the reception.
He came back. Polite. Oh, he tossed it back.
That's no play. That's the hook and ladder.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
They had a guy come by him on the last time he caught a curl route down here on this end of the field. They had a wheel route going beside him, and I think that's kind of what that was.
Polite a little shaken up on the play. Nonetheless, it's the end of the first half. Your score, Edgewater 21, Mainland nothing. We'll be back in a few minutes with some halftime thoughts.
Twice on the ground, twice through the air, and a 67-yard kickoff return for a touchdown as well. There's a great wide receiver named McLaughlin, number 6. The quarterback's 5'11", 165-pound junior, Cortez Pimbleton. Got a nice arm. They run some pistol and some shotgun, then they'll get in some two-back and run some power. And Buck Williams, junior wide receiver, he's the guy that is like the possession receiver, the guy you can count to get open and catch the ball and move the sticks.
Coach Allen, the Edgewater Eagles are averaging 32 points of offense, and they're going to need every bit of that tonight. But defensively, they have some guys as well, just like Mainland, that can make some plays.
Well, they do, and in talking to Coach, he seems to feel like that Brandon McLaughlin, 6, the wideout, may play a little bit over there. They try not to use him, but Malik Williams, number 7, is a senior, 5'10", 185. He's got to make some plays as a strong safety, as well as I've got, it looks like C.D. Blair, who's a 5'11", 190-pound linebacker, number 20, as well as Mr. Abraham, number 23, outside linebacker. Their whole linebacker crew is who, Coach feels like that has to play very well. They're going to set in cover 2 tonight. They're going to try to make Mainland drive the field. And one of the things, you spoke about Edgewater's offensive production versus Mainland. When Edgewater, they give up 3 scores a game, and they're losing, and that's their average. And the games that they've lost are 21, the other team 21, 23 points. When they do that, those are the 3 games they've lost. They're going to have a tough time keeping Mainland to less than 3 scores. It's just, and that's going to be, I think, one of the keys here is just how they manage that. And if Mainland can be patient and drive the football, not turn it over. We watched them turn it over twice last week in their 42-7 win and still have a running clock. That was phenomenal. I mean, we were just kind of in awe of it, really, because South Lake had some opportunity. And the Mainland team didn't get here. It's not smoke and mirrors. They have a good football team, and I look for them to play well. And Edgewater is going to have to stand up definitely on defense and eliminate the big plays to have a chance tonight. They can't give up those big plays.
Guys, this is an Edgewater team that has been a perennial power in high school football. Both of you coaches know what it's like to turn a program around. I'll turn it over to the dean first. Coach, they were 1-9 last year. New guy comes in. How much pressure did he have?
0.
Okay.
I took 3 coaching jobs in my life, and I think all 3 times the team was 0 for the year before, and then there's nowhere to go but up from that. And I've seen good coaches come in and infuse a group of athletes with a new degree of enthusiasm and bring out some of the things that if you're not winning, and Edgewater hasn't won for a few years now, you a little space.
Well, thank you.
It's Friday night high school football from Municipal Stadium and Larry Kelly Field, and you're getting ready to see the Edgewater Eagles, champions of District 10, take on the Mainland Buccaneers, who are not only the champions of District 9, but also the #1 team in Class 6A. Along with Rocky Yoakum and Steve Allen, I'm Billy Gahagan. Welcome to round 2 of the 2014 FHSAA Football Championships. Last week, Mainland really did a number on Southlake, guys. They really made a statement, and the Buccaneers, behind Adrian Killen's 196 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, defeated the Southlake Eagles 42-7. Coach Yoakum, those are pretty good round 1 numbers, but certainly he can't match that output every week, or can he?
Well, first of all, Coach Gahagan, welcome back. We missed you last week.
Thank you.
So many weapons at Mainland High School. Last week it was Adrian Killens who took what the defense gave them, and we'll see who they're not going to key on so much tonight. We talking with the coaches prior to the game. They're going to play a cover 2 shell and try to keep everybody deep and keep everything in front of them, try to eliminate the explosive plays. But that's good on paper. It's good on the chalkboard, but it's not always good in practice. So I expect Mainland will find a ways to move the ball, whether it's Adrian Killens or whoever.
The better chance they have of those guys all returning. Well, at this time we will pause and honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Wonderful rendition of the national anthem to get this game going. Back to a bit of the pregame, guys. Edgewater got here by defeating hometown SEABREEZE by a score of 35-0. 4 SEABREEZE turnovers led to 28 of Edgewater's 35 points. The interesting thing about the Eagles is that last year they were 1-9, albeit under a different head coach. And this season they are district champions and in the regional semifinal, but that's all in the past. Enter first-year coach Rich Bedison. The former Virginia Cavalier has helped turn the program around. He's made a few changes. And Coach Yoakum, having guys like Craig Rucker doesn't hurt either. Is he enough offensive pressure?
Craig Rucker, best Eagle performer. During the first 24 minutes, which is the first half of the Edgewater victory against Southlake in the district championship game, Rucker scored 5 touchdowns and had 256 all-purpose yards. That's in the first half, folks. He scored. It's not much fun to play football and get a taste of that win, and it can go right on. But I've seen it happen, and you know, I'm happy for the Edgewater kids that it's happening for them this year.
And one of those teams that you took over was 0-24, one of the longest losing streaks in the state of Florida. And so you felt no pressure coming in. You probably thought that was your easiest start?
Well, when I took over SEABREEZE, they'd won 22 games in 11 years, and we're 0-20. So, like I said, I don't know a lot, but I know not to take over a state champion and try to maintain that. I will say this: I think it's easier to elevate a bad team up to a higher level of play than it is to maintain that high level of play over a number of years. So, consistency for me is the measure of any sort of accomplishment, and we'll see. Edgewater's had a good year this year, and hopefully it will continue.
Coach Allen, you're over there shaking your head. What are you thinking?
Well, kind of the same deal, Bill. I mean, I had the good fortune to take over a Flagler Palm Coast team who was 1 year removed from 0-20, and it's so true. I mean, the first rule in coaching is never follow a legend, and you take those jobs that, you know, I've done it both ways. You know, and it's much easier and much less pressure to build something yourself, and you can kind of put your name on it and, like Coach said, infuse some new energy. And in a place like Edgewater, the athletes are always there. I mean, this is an old rivalry. This goes back to way back in the 40s in Daytona High, whatever that was a downtown. This was the downtown Orlando school. We had the downtown Daytona school. These athletes from these communities have been butting heads for a lot of years, and the athletes have always been there at Edgewater, and Coach Benson has just got them going, and he got them going in the right direction, and, hey, got them believing, and I'm sure they believe they can win tonight, and I think I'm looking forward to this matchup. Tremendous athleticism on the field tonight, just incredible.
Coach Oakham, you and I spoke earlier about this particular Edgewater team, and one of the things that you said you liked the most was that there was only 32 guys on their roster.
I do. Now, if I was the O-line coach like they were in pregame and they only have 6 offensive linemen on the whole team, I might not like it as a position coach, but I'm a believer in playing players both ways, and I think I'll go to my grave believing that in high school football. So I'm not surprised at all that they have a small group. My head coach back in Oklahoma told me, when we travel, we're only going to take players who are going to step on the field, either offense, defense, or special teams, because he said if they're not going to play, all they're going to do is bitch and eat, and so there wasn't much sense in taking them. So I don't mind at all seeing the small numbers. You can only put 11 of them out there at a time anyway.
Prediction time, gentlemen. Coach Allen, let me hear it.
35-8, Mainland.
Coach Oakham?
I'm going to go 42-7 Mainland and a running clock. Does that math work out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Has the star numbers tonight.
Well, along with Adrian Killens, everybody in Volusia County knows that Denzel Houston is a star in the making. He added 226 yards passing and 3 touchdowns last week. Wilford Taylor caught 2 of them. Cyrus Fagan hauled in the other. Edgewater better have their heads on a swivel with all this firepower, Coach.
Well, I've heard that their secondary is not the strength of their defense, and certainly Mainland has got a great pass scheme. They always have great protection. They've got a guy who looks like he's playing video games, playing quarterback, and they've got some wonderful wide receivers. So Edgewater will have their hands full, I believe, trying to slow down the offensive machine at Mainland.
Coach Allen, how about that Mainland defense?
Billy, what can you say? I mean, 79 points through a whole season, 7.2 points a game. I believe that it's been within the last 2 weeks they gave up their first half score, which is just it's unheard of. You know, from Brunson and McCrary, Gilliland, all these guys inside, Rashad Totruck. I mean, these guys are just unblockable. And last week against South Lake, Coach and I just sat and watched the South Lake quarterback, who did a phenomenal job of throwing the football and gave his team a chance to win the football, or to make some plays, and the wide receivers didn't make plays, and Mainland was kind of choking down on the wide receivers. And once they figured out that those South Lake guys could not block them for longer than about 2.5 seconds, backed their defensive backs off. That was kind of a key adjustment in the game, and it just ended all hopes of South Lake scoring, because really the fade route was about all that they had against that choke coverage. So the Mainland defense is as advertised. It is, if they are the number 1 team in the state, the Mainland defense has to be one of the best defenses in the state. Not that their offense is not, up to par or substandard in any way, but their defense is where they make their hay, and that's what's going to win the state championship for them, if in fact they can continue this run and run it out.
And as exciting as their offense is, it's even more exciting just to watch that defense run around and their special teams as well.
Absolutely, and Coach Oakham always alludes to you better watch your lips when you're running around on special teams, because someone's going to be in your grill pretty quick, and they do a real good job, and it's the speed. It's the speed component. You go to practice. Mainland has a plethora of athletes. They're moving these guys around. They're doing a good job in practice. They're getting them coached up, so that's a good combination. Athletes are getting coached up, getting a bunch of reps. But stepping back to their defense a little bit, we're not even seeing the best that they have to offer. We still have Miko Dotson not dressed. We still have, some things, some people that aren't out there, that they're not at full strength right now. So I hope for their sake that they can advance, and as we get closer toward the semis and maybe even the state game, that they're at full strength for that game, so that they have the chance that they deserve to get a state championship.
Well, everybody's expecting this Mainland team to go pretty far, so the longer they have to play,